What's up everybody, another beautiful day in the Dragon Isles, and today we're taking a look at heroic Tindral, Sageswift, aka the Dragonriding bows. Now I'll be going over all the new mechanics, how they work, and how to deal with them. Keep in mind this is PTR, so things can change or be reworked completely. Now Tindral is a 3-phase fight with 2 Dragonriding intermissions. He will continuously swap between druid forms, gaining different sets of abilities. In phase 1, Tindral will target everyone in the raid with mass entanglement, and after 6 seconds everyone gets rooted. Have everyone that is able to break themselves out of the roots move a bit away from boss, like if you have Death's Advance, Shapeshift, you name it. Melee loosely stacked around boss, and either have all range move close and loosely stacked near melee, or in its own little camp offside. Keep in mind that you can assign stuff like Freedom, Tiger's Lust to players that can't break roots themselves. The fewer you gotta nuke down, the better. But think of the pad! Regardless, as soon as players gets rooted, everyone needs to swap and burn down the roots. Don't be lazy, make sure to break everyone's roots. It's easy to forget about that poor warlock in the back, but in the long run it might be better to just nuke down the root as well. I know. Tindral also shares his blazing shrooms with the tanks, spawning a big old shroom near him. After a few seconds, the shroom go boom. Now tanks needs to rotate soaking these. They deal a high amount of damage and increases damage taken by shrooms by 500% for 3 seconds, so just enough time to soak every other shroom. He always spawns 4, that's all he's carrying, so one tank take 1 and 3, other 2 and 4. If you miss a shroom, everyone in the raid takes a ton of damage. Now with current tuning, missing 1 doesn't always result in a wipe, but it can overlap horribly with other raid damage, which does kill ya. I think you're better off just taking the shrooms, man. Tanks also get smacked with Searing Wrath, stacking Fire Dot, swap when it hurts, or a few seconds before shrooms spawn, so you can go into that with low or no stacks. Now players targeted by Fiery Growth needs to move away and get dispelled. Upon expiration it spawns a big fire patch. Several range/healers will get this debuff, and you can either just have him move back a bit and get dispelled YOLO style, or stack up, mass dispel, and gate away. Make sure to pop a personal or external. Players targeted by Falling Stars move away a bit, deals damage to anyone within the big ass circle. When they get smacked, it also spawns a ton of swirls all over the place. Surprisingly, swirls are bad. Now individually these mechanics aren't too bad, however they tend to overlap, and being slow with nuking down roots means players will get hit by a lot of on-ground stuff. Falling Stars, Fiery Ground, even shrooms can spawn on you when you root, so to defeat the boss you really gotta get to the root of the problem. Now when Tindral turns into his roast chicken form, he will Sunfire spam the raid. Just heal forehead and spawn a ton of fire beam that travels outwards. I know the fire looks enticing, but don't go into the light. It deals near lethal damage if you do. Boss rotates between these 2 forms twice before hooting away in his owl form. Pluck a feather off the ground and you'll be able to mount your dragon. I would add a picture here, but I don't dare to Google Drakthir on Drakthir. During the intermission, you need to fly to the new platform that Tindral lands on and nuke down his absorb before he casts Supernova. A Supernova will kill the raid, if everyone wanted to know. Now to aid you in this, there's swirly green dream essences along the flight path to Tindral. Each one of these increases the entire raid's damage done by 5%, and they stack. So goal is to spread out as you're flying there and pick up all of these essences. When a player flies through one of these, it will turn into an Emerald Gale, which gives you more flight speed and 3 vigor, as well as any other player that flies through it. So even if you aren't eating essences, still go through these to get there faster. There will also be a ton of fiery balls floating around. Touch ball, take massive damage, remove vigor from everyone, which is not great, because the ball fondler will most likely die and everyone else will get to Tindral slower. And doing all of this fast is of the essence, as you have limited time to nuke down the shield before you go boom. Now if you're having issues with breaking the shield in time, make sure you have DPS cooldowns ready for him. In phase 2, Tindral has all the forms and mechanics from phase 1, but at a slightly different timing, so some of them overlap a bit more, like Roots and Starfall. However, he will also turn into a burning broccoli. I mean, broccoli is scary enough. Imagine it burning as well. During this form, every 6 seconds, everyone in the raid will get a big old healing absorb. He also deals ticking damage to the raid every second and spawns more than 3 seeds of flame on the ground. After a bit, these seeds will turn into a stick with a severe burning sensation, dealing fire damage to everyone in a big area around it. Now, players need to stomp on the seeds to break them before this happens. Each seed deals damage and increases damage taken by seeds by 50% for 6 seconds. So only stomp a few per player. If you have access to a few immunes, use them to stomp most of the seeds to keep raid damage down. Now the broccoli phase is pretty much a just heal forehead check. Tons of healing absorbs raid damage, so make sure to have raid cooldown set up for these. So phase 2 is pretty much phase 1 plus broccoli form, and slightly different spell queuing. 2 sets of each form before he swoops away. Now the second intermission works like the first one, however it's now an advanced course, so the route is different. The dream essences are not as easy to get to, and the fiery balls travel around the area. And around essences, this time ball comes for you. But other than that, it's the same. Eat essences, get the boss fast, burn down, absorb, hopefully don't die. Going into phase 3, which is pretty much phase 2, but with a limited timer. No new form or abilities, but will eventually cast Supernova and kill everyone, which is a wipe. Slightly different spell queuing once again, but overall it's just deal with each form. Tank keep eating shroom, range move away and get the spell with fiery growth, loosely stack near boss when there's roots going out with stars, and all fire is bad fire. Avoid it. Now if possible you want a bloodlust in phase 3 when people's cooldowns are back, as you will most likely have used all of them on the shield before. DPS pot if possible and burn away. And that's pretty much it for Tindral Heroic. There is a slight chance they might add things to this fight, as I find it a bit weird that there's really not anything new in phase 3, just more of the same. The challenge instead comes from having done enough DPS in previous phases to be able to finish him in the last one. So could be that something is missing. If something does get added that impacts the fight, I will remake this or, well, add that part. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments or become a patron or Twitch sub and get access to the Stankie Discord, where you can get help with anything rating or enhancement related. You can also get shoutouts in videos, among other things. Don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And I will see you next time.